What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to go ahead and show off some gameplay of the Sorceress in Diablo 4. This is December 2022 gameplay, so it's the most recent gameplay that we have that we can finally share with you guys. So first off, just want to go ahead and start off the video by explaining what we're seeing is a Stronghold. So this is a form of content where you can group up with some party members if you want to. You can see there's a barbarian and a rogue in the party, and we're going to be taking down the Stronghold. And what a Stronghold is it's an area that you're going to basically conquer. You're going to kill a bunch of enemies, and then you're going to basically cleanse the area, making it so it's inhabitable by the local area. And you're going to have like a waypoint, and then it's going to basically be an area which you can access, but you're going to have to defeat a bunch of enemies, and there's going to be some sort of like boss at the end. There's actually multi bosses in this gameplay. You're seeing an ultimate right here, but I want to go ahead and start this video as more of an introduction to the Cold Sorceress for the gameplay, as it's one of my favorite classes in Diablo 2. So starting right off, I want to go ahead and go over all of the skills from like 1 through 4, then there's a left click and right click. But first off, obviously everything you guys are seeing in the bottom right says in development content, so it's not final, so things are subject to change. Everything that I'm mentioning is of course subject to change too, and big shout out to Blizzard for giving me the opportunity to not only play the game, but also give you guys this gameplay footage that they provided. So we can't record our own gameplay, this was footage that was provided, but I'll explain everything. I've obviously played the game myself, and I leveled up the Cold Sorceress. I got to test out all of the skills, and the Sorceress, in terms of all the skills, this is a cold build, but keep in mind you don't have to just go for cold. You're not looking for, let's say, like a convention of elements, so you can go for cold only. In Diablo 4, you actually want to incorporate a lot of different skills, and it's because certain skills may apply certain conditions that will give your party members more damage, or you can get certain like effects to actually activate if, let's say, the enemy is burning. They're going to take X amount of more damage, and you can help out your party. So it's kind of cool to mix and match, but this whole build that this gameplay is showing off is all cold, and I want to explain all of the skills. So first off, let's go from left to right. We're going to explain the base skill, and then we're also going to be explaining what's called the enchantment. So you get 2 enchantments on the Sorceress, at least in the current build. Again, everything could be subject to change. But what makes the Sorceress a little bit different here, or the Sorcerer is what it's called. And also one thing that you're seeing is a Shrine of Lilith. What that is, it doesn't show it here, but you're going to get some sort of stat that's going to be working across all your characters when you find these little hidden things across the world. Because keep in mind, the whole game is an open world. There's a lot of secrets to find, and it's really cool for exploration. But going from left to right in terms of all of the skills, we'll go over the base effects, and then we'll go over the enchantment effect. So the enchantment effect is a way for you to make your character more niche to like your playstyle. You get to pick 2 skills, and you get to make them kind of more powerful, but some of them will kind of alter them in terms of the gameplay as well. So starting right off, in terms of the skills, in our number 1 slot, that is the Ice Armor. The Ice Armor provides a barrier similar to Path of Exile if you've played that game, or even Diablo 3. The barrier is a layer of kind of like HP on top of your HP, and when that depletes, then your HP will then go down. So what it does is it provides, well, in terms of the game right now, it's 30% of your base life in damage, 30% of your base life, and then while Ice Armor is active, 10% of your cold damage dealt is added to its barrier, so it can get stronger and stronger. So that's the base effect. And as you put more points into it, these numbers can be subject to change, just like a lot of these things that I'm mentioning. But another thing that you can do with the Ice Armor, I wish I could show you guys like the actual like in-game like text, but currently we just got to use their footage here. So if you guys do want to see that though, and you're new here, subscribe, and when I can show you guys a lot more details on Diablo 4, I'll be dropping guides and stuff like that, just like I have been doing with Diablo 3 and even Diablo 2 and Diablo 1. What you can do is not only can you put skill points in like you would like, let's say, Diablo 2 into a skill, but in addition to that, you're actually able to get modifications to the skill that can either alter it in some way and change up the gameplay, or just kind of give you extra bonus enhancements. Now with Ice Armor, what you're able to do is actually grant yourself extra mana regen while it's up. That's another like option that you can get, and there's a few other ones, but I won't go too in-depth with every single skill, otherwise this video could maybe be like half an hour long. This is just like a brief introduction. So Ice Armor gives you some extra barrier, and then the skill slot in number 2 is actually Ice Blade. So what it does is it creates a ice sword, and it's just going to go run around and attack things. It's considered a conjuration skill, just like Hydra. Think of it almost like a summon, although these summons aren't like summons that have HP and they're going to hold aggro or anything like that. It just summons an ice sword that'll deal damage, and it can inflict vulnerability, which which allows the target to take 20% more damage with that ability. And then next up we have Deep Freeze. That's the ultimate, where we encase ourselves into ice. We're immune for 4 seconds, and then we get to continuously chill enemies for 20%. This number can be, fluctuated. Now, when it ends, it's going to deal damage to frozen enemies. They shatter, dealing like a percent of damage. Now, how freezing enemies works in Diablo 4 is you're going to be continuously chilling enemies. And once it reaches, I believe, 100%, is when that threshold actually freezes it. I'm not sure if the chill effect is based off the numerical number that's in the game, or if it's based on a percentage. Again, things are subject to change. But yeah, that's just like the ultimate. That's keybound to number 3. And in number 4, we got a Diablo fan favorite. This is Blizzard. So Blizzard, it just deals damage over, a period of time in an AoE. That's what it does. It's very similar to the Diablo 2 one. And then in our left click, we have Frostbolt. So it's going to throw a Frostbolt and it chills them for 15%. And then the right click is another fan favorite from Diablo 2, Frozen Orb. So it's going to throw out an orb, it's going to deal some damage, and then when it explodes, it's going to deal damage again, and it chills the enemies.
Very chill.
Now, I actually mentioned that we're also getting some enchantments. So how it works is you have these special quests in Diablo 4. Every single class will have a very special quest, and it's really cool. It almost reminds me of like ascending to a higher power, because you're like kind of learning these from other like masters and stuff. It's really, really cool. But you got to do like a special quest for it, but it allows you to enchant 2 of your skills. You get one earlier on, and then the other one you'll have to unlock at a certain level. These, again, numbers can be subject to change. But going over all these special, like, bonus enchantments. So with Ice Armor, you only get to pick 2 of these. Oh, actually, I know the one that's actually equipped in this gameplay. So the one in this gameplay is actually for teleport. What it does is, normally what's bound to space, that's the button right above the like mana bar. You can see there's a space bar. That ability is enchanted. So instead of your normal like evade dodge, it's like a button that you push, so your character kind of does a little like jump. This character doesn't have it, and it actually replaces that with another ability. Here we're coming to pretty much like the end of the demo here that they showed off. So it just basically, you get the waypoint access over here, and you can see that there's going to be people that you can interact with. There's now like a dungeon that's over in like the top right of the minimap, and you basically get to conquer these areas, and as you complete more areas, you're going to get more like bonuses. You can get extra like skill points and stuff like that. But I wasn't finished with the entirety of the enchantment skills, so I'm gonna have to roll back because we got only a limited amount of footage for just this gameplay, but I've got a lot more to cover. So like I said, Ice Armor, the enchantment effect is upon getting hit, we just have a flat 5% chance to apply Ice Armor. Some of these numbers are in like a gold text, and what that means is they can be modified through other like means. So that's what Ice Armor does when you select it as one of your 2 enchantments. Now the Ice Blades, killing an enemy has a 10% chance to just conjure Ice Blades, so that's kind of cool. And then with Deep Freeze, which is our ultimate, which you guys are seeing right here in the gameplay, this, I don't believe any class is able to select, or any ability in the ultimate category is able to be enchanted. It's already like, there, right? But that is the ultimate right there, Deep Freeze. Now, Blizzard, if you enchant it, it's every 15 seconds, a blizzard forms over you and follows you for 4 seconds. What's interesting is there's actually some synergy with some sort of melee build. Like there are like melee attacks with the Sorceress. So it might be a thing where you might be able to build kind of a melee Sorceress. In fact, the Sorcerer is actually one of the tankier classes in Diablo 4 because of the barrier mechanic. There's a node that you can get. If you put enough points to do it, it's 30% of your base HP every single time you activate any ability that has a cooldown, and you can obviously get cooldown reduction. It's not quite the same as like D3's cooldown reduction, where you can just get like things to be up 100% of the time, but in theory, as the end game progresses, there might be a lot of things that give you extra cooldown, therefore you can keep up your barrier very, very consistently. And then on top of that, you can actually get barrier potency to give you like more percent. It's like, if you play Diablo 3, the Ashnagar Blood Bracers, those are like, you can get kind of like similar things in that, so if you want to maybe build your character to have a lot of barrier, you can do that as well. But yeah, anyways, yeah, Blizzard gives you like a little AoE around you, and it follows you, so if it's going to follow you, you're probably going to need to be close within melee range if you want to be effective. Then there's also the enchantment on Frostbolt. So in Diablo 4, you actually have skills that will generate resource, and most classes, there's like a barbarian like kind of builds it up, just like in D3. But for the most part, most classes will generate resource just off of like natural over time. You could also get extra resource generation with gems to socket in your pieces of weapons. That will also increase the resource generation rate. But pretty much what it comes down to is you have something that generates, you know, your main source of like energy or mana, and then you have something to expend it. And it's in pretty much most of the builds. I haven't really seen any like build, at least in the current state of the game, where people are just spamming like one button only. Like if you play Diablo 3, you kind of have a build where this is all of your damage dealers, then you have all of your buffs. You try to keep up like your auras and stuff at 100% efficiency. But in Diablo 4, you kind of use all of your skills. All of your skills are damage, if that kind of makes any sense, because you kind of use all of them. Because there's either cooldown or a mana cost associated with them, and a lot of them you can modify them to get some sort of bonus where like this ability inflicts vulnerability, so then all of your other abilities kind of have some synergy with it, and it's really cool. It's more of an active playstyle, although there might be some builds later down the line where if you get a very specific unique item, it can make it so you only use one ability, but in the current state, that's what it looks like. Now, what is the enchantment with Frozen Orb? Well, the enchantment with Frozen Orb, how it works is whenever you cast a non-basic skill, so think of a basic skill as something that is a primary skill if you play Diablo 3, so whatever it's generating. So as long as it's not that, you're going to have a 20% chance to launch a Frozen Orb at a nearby enemy. So 20% chances to cast Frozen Orb, that is pretty cool. And I'm actually kind of curious if it does like stack with itself, as in like if you could just Frozen Orb and it works off of that one. And if that, I believe you actually have to cast it, but that's another cool ability just to get some extra DPS out of the way. So anyways, that is pretty much going to be summing it up for the Cold Sorceress. But I got a lot more gameplay to share with you guys. I'm so excited that I can finally share Diablo 4 gameplay with you guys. Well, obviously I've played the game myself, but we got to use their in-game play footage that they have provided. But it's looking like it's very good, and the Sorceress is a blast to play. I actually really like playing Fire, and when the time comes, I'll be dropping you guys gameplay of the Fire as well as a lot of other things, and more build guides definitely on the horizon for Diablo 4. But let me know, guys, what your thoughts are on the Cold Sorceress from the gameplay, and if you're planning to play Diablo 4, what class do you actually plan to start playing? Because I got lots of videos coming very soon for lots of different classes, but Cold Sorceress has always been one of my favorites in Diablo 2, specifically Frozen Orb, because I just love the interaction, the visuals of it is very, very cool. But anyways, if you guys are new here and you do want to see more Diablo and other action RPG content, and it's your first time here, subscribe, turn on that bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and I'm out. Peace.